As a continuation to the last video session, we will be talking about other details of text to column, other applications of text to column. This is where we ended, where we segregated the name and surname and combined into one single cell in a different sequence. Now let me take you to another example. So let me go to the sheet 2, text to column 2. Okay. In front of me lies a list of data which has been taken from a fixed asset register. What is that? For every fixed asset bought inside the company, I have the account number, whether it's plant and machinery, whether it's furniture and fixture, etc. What is the individual unique item code allotted to it? A system generated item code, which is based on the item number. And lastly, the description. Now, sometimes in the old legacy ERP software, some of them, when you download the data in Excel, they all get bunched into one single cell, all the data. How do I analyze this data? To analyze this data, I must segregate into 4 different columns. Now, how do I do that? Of course, I am not going to individually copy and paste into different cells because that is going to take me a lifetime. What I'll be doing is telling Excel, hey, wherever you find a certain delimiter, please segregate the data. Something very similar to the last one where we used comma as the delimiter. So let me check this out. After choosing a sample data, let me go to data tab. Let me reach out to text to column. Okay. Now what I have in front of me, the 2 options, one of which we briefly discussed in the last video. So let me take that as a starting point, which is step 1 of 3. Next. Now, of course, I cannot use a comma as a delimiter. Let me try out space. Oops. As soon as I choose space, what I notice, for the first 3 columns, the output looks fine to me, 3 different columns. But for the 4th one, since the description exists in all the cell and all the description has space inside them, they all get segregated into 4 different columns. As of now, if I proceed, and just like the last time, if I change the destination, that means my output should begin not from A5, but the cell adjoining to it. If I press finish, you'll notice the first 3 column looks decent, but the next one, the last one which says asset description, this is not the way I wanted. So what is the other option that can help us? Let me press Ctrl Z. Again, let me choose the data. This time let me choose the entire set of data, start till end. So pressing Shift Ctrl and then down arrow key to help me get this data selected. Let me reach out to data, text to columns. Now this time, let me try out the other option of step 1, which is fixed width, and we'll see what is this fixed width going to do. Next. Now fixed width will not give you options like space, comma, or any such characters. What it does is, as the name suggests, it will draw straight lines automatically where it thinks you can segregate the data based on the available spaces or the tab keys. If you want, you can double click on the lines to remove. Now this entire 1 column. If you want to bring that line, simply single click, it will be back. So you can customize the placement of the lines. Now the advantage lies in the fact that it doesn't pick space as the delimiter. It uses straight lines, and that's the reason why I'm able to put all the description into 1 column. If I press next and I change the destination from the current A5 cell to the one next to it, which is B5, and if I press finish, looks better. Account number, item number, asset description. But wait, if I compare the item number check with the original data, I notice the 0 has been taken off. And why does that happen? We must have noticed by now. Let's say if we write any number starting with 00, let's say check number or any account number, the 0 is not displayed unless you change the format of the cell to text, or you put a single quotation first and then start writing the digits starting with 0. But how do I then do that for all the data? Yes, there is a trick. Let me press Ctrl Z. Now a lot of professionals I have discussed with, sometimes the ERP gets the data into different columns after you use text to column, and this is precisely the problem that they face, especially when you talk about customer ID code, vendor ID code, project ID code, and so on. So let me show you the solution. Let me press Ctrl Z couple of times so that I reach to the old data once again. Now let me choose the entire data using Shift Ctrl down, Data tab, Text to columns. Step 1 will remain same as what we did, that is fixed width. Going to next. Step 2, keeping the same options on, which is 4 columns of output data. No change here as well. Step 3, there is one slight change. That change is if you select the third column in this preview window, it blackens out, and all you have to do is make sure it is stored as text. That's the reason you'll see the text out here. And if you now change the destination, which we always do, and if you press finish, you'll notice the output data is stored in text, and that's the reason it is also storing and displaying the 00 as the 2 prefix digits. So this is how you can use fixed width along with the inbuilt option where you can change the output as text. So give it a try, very useful. Meet you in the next video session where we'll talk about 2 more tricks on text to columns.